Hello everyone, welcome to the part 4 on AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner crash course. So in this course we are going to discuss about various different AWS storage options which is going to be provided to us. So coming to storage, the one important thing to remember is all about AWS S3. S3 is a simple storage service which is offered to us in the form of an object-based storage. So S3 stores the objects, say PDF files, say video files, say media files of anything of any sorts can be stored in S3, which offers very highly available, secured, and highly durable. AWS S3 offers 11 nines durability, and it offers 99.9% availability. So we need to be aware of all these things. So S3 is simple. S3 is it's simply all about anything can be stored in S3. Any sorts of file can be stored in S3. We need to be aware of 6 different storage classes within S3, which is standard. Standard is the standard way which provides very minimal data latency, and it is highly costlier. So intelligent tiering, it is all about, it uses machine learning behind the scenes to toggle the data across hot and cold tiers. So this is something which is very interesting. And standard infrequent access. Infrequent access is all for our infrequently accessed data. So some backup files and everything will be moved to the standard infrequent access, which is less costlier compared to standard. One zone IA, it is like we will be storing the data only in the single zone within the specific AWS region. So this is slightly lesser costlier compared to standard IA. And Glacier, it is all about it is a cold storage where we will be storing some of the cold data. Glacier Deep Archive is for the data regulatory requirements, and it is a very old, very cold storage. It is more than 10 years we need to store some data. So Glacier Deep Archive is the option to store the cold data for a longer duration of time. So we need to be aware of all these 6 storage classes. Standard will be most costlier, and Glacier Deep Archive will be very least costlier actually. So we need to be aware of lifecycle management options, which is like we need to move the data from standard tier to standard infrequent access, and then from infrequent access to Glacier. So it's like cold data, whatever the data which I'm using, it will be stale in some point in time. So we need to move the data across various different tiers. That type of options are available to us using lifecycle management option. We need to be aware of versioning. Versioning is all about versioning the various objects within the S3 bucket. So we can enable the versioning to provide an security, to provide an provision against the accidental deletes. So whenever we delete an file in the S3, if the versioning is enabled, we can simply delete the delete markers so that we can get the file back. We need to be aware of encryption options within the S3. There are wide varieties of options. SSE S3, SSE KMS, SSE C are the server side encryption, and CSE KMS and CSE C are the customer side encryptions which are going to be available. So it's like these are all various different options what AWS is offering. The going deeper into these options will be beyond the scope of this course. Data replication options, we need to be aware of data replication options. AWS provides the data replication across various different regions. Say it is like I'm having a bucket in specific region, the data needs to be replicated to the bucket in some other region. Those type of options are also available. S3 is a standard data lake storage option. So S3, because of the exabyte level of data storage, S3 is one of the good option for an data lake, ideal data lake in data analytics scenario. And S3 is very good place first for holding the data, which is for our static website hosting. So and then there is something called EBS. EBS is the elastic block store. This is an entity which is tied to an EC2 instances. So this is an block store. It is not an object store. It is going to be block store. So it is an highly performant block store which is designed to use with the elastic compute cloud, which is an EC2. So it will bring more throughput, and also it will be very useful for the transaction intensive workloads. So what are all the various different options within EBS? It is like SSD and HDD types of volumes are available. So GP2 and IO1 options for SSD, which will provide very high in terms of performance. It is for hosting the databases and all these things. HDD volumes will provide less performance using the throughput optimized ST1 and cold HSD. It is like big data related workloads, we can make use of ST1 and cold HDD for some other stuff. So there is an option to take the snapshots as well. So EBS volumes can be taken as the form of the snapshots. So it can be reused. You can spin up another EBS volume using the snapshots in different availability zones, in other different availability regions actually. So Coming to the third option on the storage, it is called as then EFS. EFS is the elastic file system, which is it is like it's a file system. It is we can mount the EFS to various different EBS. So in simple terms, it is like EBS volumes can be attached to only one instance, one EC2 instance. At any point in time, we can attach only one EBS volume to an EC2 instance. So if I want a solution, something like I can attach multiple things to an EC2, then we need to go ahead with EFS. So it's like if you want to attach the EBS, you need to detach it from the existing EC2, and we need to attach the EBS to another EC2. That's how it works. It's a one-to-one mapping basically. So elastic file system will provide that mounting facility, so we can mount the EFS across multiple EC2 machines, not only EC2, across the Lambda, across all the other things. So for a distributed shared file data across various systems, we can very well make use of EFS, which is the elastic file system. So coming to the next option, it is like we need to be aware of AWS Backup. Backup provides an automated provisioning to manage your backups. In simple terms, say I want to take a snapshot of the EBS volume on a specific frequency on a specific day. So these type of schedules and all these things can be done using AWS Backup. It is not only for EBS, it is for all the other things as well. It is like for RDS and also for all the other things. We can simply manage, we can simply schedule the backup procedures using AWS Backup. And another important thing to know is AWS Storage Gateway. AWS Storage Gateway is the hybrid solution which provides us to connect our on-premises to the AWS cloud. So it is like we can make use of storage gateway, various different storage gateway facilities available. So we can make use of that to connect our on-premises with the AWS cloud, so that we can do some data transfer from on-premises to cloud. We can store some data in the cloud in a very cheaper manner. So it's all about hybrid. If you think of hybrid connectivity between on-prem to our AWS, storage gateway is one viable example. So FSx is another variety. It is like AWS EFS elastic file system works with Linux based system. If you want to go ahead with Windows based file server, then we need to think of an FSx for Windows and FSx for Luxor is available currently. Then comes finally our Snow family. Snow family is all about one-time data transfer to AWS. So AWS is having multiple options available with this. So one is the AWS Snowcon, which is recently introduced, which provides us the 8 terabytes of data. Simple means it's like they will send us this equipment. We need to connect the equipment, we need to port our data to that equipment, then that equipment will be sent back to AWS. AWS will take the data from there and they will persist it onto S3 buckets. So simplest of this available option is the AWS Snowcon, which is this one in this picture. This is a smaller box, and AWS Snowball is there for some time. It is like Snowball comes with two options: storage optimized and compute optimized for various different use cases. Again is the ruggedized bigger box which comes to us. Same process follows. And if you want to move petabytes of data, it is like if I want to move some larger amounts of data from my on-premises or some from my existing place to AWS, then we can very well make use of this big truck. This is the Snow Mobile. So the same process works. It comes with the armed person, and it is like it is completely secured, so that we can transfer the data, petabytes of data, to AWS in a seamless way. So we came to end of this lecture. I hope this lecture is informative for you. I am looking forward to see you in my next lecture. Thank you.